I'm sitting on the floor today to tell you about how the French handle waste. I wanted to tell you about some of the different ways that waste is processed here in France. When we have food scraps, like vegetable scraps, fruit scraps, eggshells, coffee grounds, things like that, that goes into our compost bin that goes to my garden. Then we have our orange bin. This is food items that are like more processed. You can put meat, bones, like it's really any food item that you wouldn't compost normally in your small garden, like in a vegetable garden, will go into the orange bag. So that's a fairly new program. It started this summer. Pizza, rice. I put citrus, avocado, because it doesn't break down as easily. So things like that, I put that in the orange bag. That gets wrapped up and put into the same bin as your garbage. So our like actual trash, not recycling, not compost, it goes in with the what we would call the black bags. Those are the trash, and your orange bags just go in the same bin. Then we have recycling. France recycles a lot of different things. You recycle a lot of different food containers, chip bags, wrappers, bottles, like plastic bottles. The next thing that we recycle is glass. That goes into a separate bin. So we collect our glass, and then we have to take it. We have to actually like take it to, there's like a large container that you drop the glass in, and the glass goes into the ground, and then a truck comes and picks it up from each location. There are several throughout each city, depending on the size of the city, but usually there isn't one too far from where you live, and so you just go and take your glass. It's always a little uncomfortable because it's really noisy, and a lot of people have multiple bottles of wine. It doesn't mean you had a big party the night before. It's just, but it always feels like it. It always feels like I have a drinking problem when I'm dropping multiple bottles into the glass recycling receptacle. So you do not have to wash out the glass containers. They actually discourage you from doing that because it wastes water. So you just put everything in, you separate the lids, those go in recycling, and then the glass containers go right into the glass receptacle. Then we have our trash, which is just like diapers, things that cannot be recycled. That's really the default. Anything that cannot go into the compost, the orange compost, the recycling, or the glass will go in the trash. If it's a large item, like a large cardboard box, or something like electronic device, batteries, something like that, that goes to the déchetterie, which is like, it's kind of like a dump, but it's not open all the time. Whereas in the US, like if you go to like a landfill, it'll be open pretty much all the time. You can just go, sometimes you have places to separate things. Sometimes it's just a giant pile of trash. So here you have certain hours, you have people there helping you separate things properly. So it's really just like very specific items, large items or electronic type stuff. And I think that's everything, but it's, so we have really five, if you include the glass, 5 different receptacles in our home where we collect things. And then, when we put stuff in the garage if we need to like take something to the déchetterie on a certain day. But it's really a culture shock when I visit the US, because where my parents live, you have to live in the city, to recycle or do anything like that. Really, their options are you can compost if you have your own garden, but there's no composting program. Here, if I didn't, I have an allotment garden, but if I didn't compost, if I didn't have a garden, I could actually put that other compost in. There are compost receptacles throughout the city. I don't know if this is a program where I live, or I'm sure other areas of France have this too, but if you don't have a garden and you still want to compost, you can take your like veggie scraps, eggshells, things like that, and dump them into these local composting receptacles. I believe they use the compost locally. They may sell it. It's really nice to be able to recycle. It's hard to go home and just throw everything in the trash, because where my mom lives outside of the city, they don't have a recycling program. If they want to recycle, it's extra work to gather all of that stuff. I think they do a little bit of composting in their garden, but they don't have the means to easily recycle. And so most people don't do it. So all of that garbage, all of that recycled material or potential recycled material just goes to the landfill. So, yeah, that's a big reverse culture shock, but I'm really thankful that they have these programs, and I wish that the US could copy some of this, because it's really great and it provides a lot of jobs. I visited the local recycling center for a class that I did, and it was really interesting. It's amazing how they send all the recycled items. Either they try to keep them locally in France they send them to different processing facilities once they sort everything. And then there are some in Germany, Spain, and I believe Italy. So they go to different areas depending on the item, whether it's plastic, aluminum, like different types of plastics. I hope you found this interesting. If you are new to France, it might help to know some of this stuff. When we first moved here, I really was confused by all the different bags that you have to buy, or you actually have to go collect the yellow bags and for the recycling, and then you have to pick up the orange bags. You have to buy your own black trash bags, but the rest you have to pick up. Those are provided by the city, and so there are certain days where you can go pick those up, and each house is allotted like a certain number, and so it's nice to know that kind of stuff ahead of time, because it's all new. If you move here from the US, it's something completely new unless your city had a program like that. So hope this is helpful and in explaining the recycling or waste disposal. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for following along.